So today is April 3rd, and this is the third day of review. And today, tomorrow, and the rest of the days next week, we'll be focusing on volumes itself. Okay, there are techniques, guys, because the last time when we introduced volume, that's chapter 8.7, 8.8, 8.9. If there are questions, this is now the right time for you to ask questions, because I have technique also to do it for you to be able. That's your guide to be for you to be able to use the correct formula. Okay, so we're gonna have problem number one, and problem one states. Sorry, Chris. It's okay. It's fixed now. Thank you, Chris. So, Tyler, can you read the problem for me, please?
The base of a solid is the region in the first quadrant enclosed by a graph of y equals x squared. The line x equals 2 and the x-axis. If all planes cross sections that perpendicular to the x-axis are squares, then the volume of the solid is.
Okay, so the first thing that you do is sketch the graph. Okay, we sketch the graph. This means this is coming from a parabola and a line, right? Well, you notice, guys, if you don't sketch, what do you notice? It's a parabola and have this line x equals 2. So we say, okay. So x squared, so parabola 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we have this. So I'm gonna use blue color for this parabola. Okay, this is clear, guys. So this is now the function y equals x squared, and then I'm gonna have a line x equals 2. So the x equals 2 is this one, right? I'm gonna have a line. Okay, so it says that the base of the solid is the region in the first quadrant. So what we are after is the first quadrant only, not the second. Okay, so first quadrant enclosed by the graph of x squared and the line x equals x squared and the line equals 2 and the x-axis. Therefore, it's going to be on the x-axis. So we're going to have along this, right, x-axis. So remember, it's a square. So guys, technique is I'd like you to draw a square also inside. Okay, draw a square inside. So if it is a square, so you must have. And what is the formula for square? So I'm gonna write it here. Square. What is a square? Okay. So the area, this is x and x, right? Or area of this is x squared. So I'm gonna write right here that the area is x squared. So this is the area. Remember, volume is the area times the change of x or change of y, right? Okay, so we now formulate an equation. Set an integral. Volume is equal to the integral from a to b. Okay, and then we have f of x dx. So for ax squared, because we are having an area. But what is that? What is this? A square. So I need you to highlight also the word square right here. The end of the cross section perpendicular to x-axis are squares. So highlight this one. Then the volume of the solid is. So this means okay. So right here, what is our upper curve? What color is our upper curve? Blue. And the g of x right here understood to be the g of x, the lower curve is 0, right?
Yeah.
Not the green, but this one, because it's gonna be this one and this one only. That's the region, right? So we now say volume for V is equal to the integral. What is our limit now? What do you think is our limit? It's gonna be from 0 to 2. That's our limit. Okay? So from 0 to 2. And then what is this? Area f of x is square x square, right? X square minus 0. And again, the 0 right here is this line. This is the upper curve, this is the lower curve. Okay. And then dx, right? Okay. So, can you now continue? And then, what is lacking? It's gonna be square. Okay, very good. So it means volume is equal to, can we simplify this first before we do antiderivative? Okay, we have from 0 to 2, and you have x square square. Okay, and then dx. Or we simply have volume is equal to the integral from 0 to 2, and you have x to the power of 4. Okay, so this is, yes, Miss Mosley? So this is x to the power of 4, right? And then dx. And then this time you can now take the antiderivative. So we have, implies now that volume of this is equal to x to the power of, sure? 5 over 5. So 5 over 5 evaluated from 0 to 2. So can you continue now? Volume. Huh? So we say, plug in now. We have 2 to the power of 5 over 5, right? And then minus 0. So volume is equal to 32 over 5. And indicate the units all the time. Cubic units, okay? Volume, cubic units. Any question, guys?
No. Personal.
So, what letter is the right answer? It's gonna be letter C. Unless you have questions, then we can proceed to problem number 2. Remember, we're gonna finish all these 30 problems for volumes, okay?
Okay.
So you have enough foundation. in case during the actual AP, at least you're already equipped to answer questions related to volumes. Okay, so normally volume problems like 5 or 4 from the actual AP, but for me 30 questions for us to review is enough. Okay, so long as you know, because of this, whatever word that you encounter right here, this is a square, you always have to draw square right here and also at the bottom, so you have a guide. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and I'd like you to improve your writing also, guys. Please improve your writing, okay, so you can manage yourself to study. So please, I'm appealing to you.
But I have a good guess.
Okay, so can I turn off the heater?
Yeah.
It's very
That
warm.
guy, he's a future man.
No, I'm actually going to mission. Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Okay, can I move this up now? Adi?
No, yeah, that's why they keep asking for more stuff. I'm turning something in right now. I spent all that stuff, but they keep asking it's like, are you familiar?
Okay.
And like a week later, it's like,
So moving on to number 2.
It's annoying.
Problem number 2.
It's just more like tax stuff. Like we need like your section
Okay.
C, not your section A.
Chris, I cannot control her.
Man,
Chris.
Mr. Rap.
Can you help me?
Excuse me.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so moving on to problem number 2. Bye bye, Sam.
MLS next. MLS next.
Okay.
He's going to like Minnesota.
Manny, can you read the problem for me, please?
The base of a solid is the region in the first quadrant enclosed by the graphs of y equals 3 of x and y equals x squared. If all plane cross sections perpendicular to the x-axis are squares, then its volume is given by.
Okay, so what are the important words to highlight first before? Okay, so what to highlight first?
First quadrant.
So we are concerned on the first quadrant, right? So can you highlight this region in the first quadrant? And then what's the graph? This is line y equals 3x. Okay? And then what else? A parabola y equals x squared. If all plane cross sections perpendicular to the x-axis. So this is very important, guys. Highlight also perpendicular to the x-axis. So, and what is that perpendicular to the x-axis? Simply square, right? Then its volume is given by. Okay. Can you imagine now the graph? What prevails on top? Is it a line or a parabola?
It is a parabola.
Sure.
Which one? The 3x or the?
The line prevails on top, so the line should be our f of x. If you draw this one, this is a parabola, right? But what we're concerned is the first quadrant and the line 3x. So the 3x is this one. So let's just assume that's 3x. Oh, it will cross at 0 origin right here. So I'm gonna make sure it will cross right here. Okay. So we want to know this, right? And we all know that the lower limit starts at 0. So what to do?
Equate 0.
We equate each other. Very good. So x squared equals 3x, right? For us to have the intersection right here. This is the intersection that we are concerned of. What is this? We all know that our lower limit starts at 0, but we don't know our upper limit. So we say x squared is equal to 3x. Right? So what we do with this 3x, we are subtracting both sides by 3x, or we're gonna equate into 0. Clear?
Yup.
So this means x squared minus 3x is equal to 0. So what is common? What is common? X is common. So we factor out the x. So this means this is x minus 3 equals 0. So we have x equals 0, which is this one. And the other one is x minus 3 equals 0. Therefore, our upper limit is 3. Is this clear now? So this is 3 right here, guys.
So it's 8.
So limit from 0 to 3. Clear? And then what is this? Square. So we're gonna have the square. Okay? It's a square. So I'm gonna have a square right here. What is a square? Area. X square, right? That's the area. Or simply x times x. The area is x squared. So area is x squared. That's the area. Okay, since this is volume, we're gonna have a times ax square, right? Ax square. So in this case, the answers are just simply formulating an integration formula, right? Set up the integrals. So the green is the upper, which is y equals 3x. And the black color is a parabola, which is y equals x squared. So the upper minus the lower, right? Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So that means the upper limit. So we have volume is equal to the integral from 0 to 3. And then we have our upper limit is the green color, which is 3x, right? So which means 3x minus, what is our lower limit? The color is the lower limit. The black color is the lower limit, right? Which is
X squared.
x squared. So x squared and then square. Okay, and then square and then dx. So this is, so what letter is the best choice? Letter A. So it's gonna be letter A. So test taking strategy, guys. Test taking strategy. As what Tanya has said yesterday. What did she say yesterday? Process of elimination. We're gonna eliminate this because this is 1 to 9, 0 to 9. So we cross this out. What else? Color coding. What comes first? The green. Is this the green? Is this a green? No. This is black, right? The x squared is a black color. So cross this out. Also this one, because the limit is from 0 to 9, we cross this out. So even if we don't have to write it this way, by just looking at the graph, boom, you can see that this is the right answer. Test taking strategy, and Tanya said process of elimination. Okay?
Nothing about the person the thing that thanks to his computer.
So, another guys, for you to be able to look at this. What is this? A square, right? And that square covers what is the top. You can also write it this way, guys. What is the top? 3x, right? You can formulate now as 3x minus the bottom. What is the bottom? X squared. Okay, so x squared. X squared. Isn't it area? You're gonna square that one, and that's it. And that's the reason why I want you to listen, because there are techniques
Yes, yes.
which wasn't discussed in the video, right? This is the technique. The upper, which is 3x, minus the lower, which is x squared, and then square. This is the area. Okay?
I wanna go on that trip. It's the week of my birthday, bro. 3 days of my birthday. Oh, birthday, yeah, birthday. Fuck that. My birthday, I think. Big no.
Or maybe you want me to do it this way. This is one of the sides, and the other side, what is the square? Same thing. 3x minus x squared. Okay? So which means the area is 3x minus x squared square. Okay. Any question? So moving on to problem number 3. So the base of a solid is a region in the first quadrant. So highlight first quadrant. So we are only after of the first quadrant, guys. So first quadrant.
We're doing the same. Wait, that's
Oh, Chris, can you move this up, Chris? I'm so sorry. I thought it was number 3 already. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same. First quadrant. Okay. So we have to highlight first quadrant. So we're only after of the first quadrant in the region bounded by the graph of this function y equals e to the power of negative x plus 1, and the line x equals 4, and the coordinates axis. If all plane cross sections perpendicular to the x-axis are squares. Okay, can you graph this first? This is exponential graph, right?
So I can kill you first.
So that means the graph is this way, going down,
Oh,
decreasing function. Okay. So if I graph this one, the graph looks this way. So I have a line first, that this line, I'm gonna have blue color for this line, which is 4.
yeah, right.
So x is equal to 4. And the graph, I'm using color green, that the exponential graph looks this way.
No.
Okay?
Nobody said you speak to
Here, guys? Hello?
Hello.
Okay. So which means
Splash out.
if I have a square,
Oh my god. Yeah.
if I have a square,
I don't know if he's committed to his money. He wants to have it ready. Should I do that?
what is this side? This side is e to the power of negative x plus 1. Clear? Okay. So this is
Like selfish.
e to the power of negative x plus 1. How about this side? Same thing, because it's a square, right? Sides are good. So this side also is e to the power of negative x plus 1. So what is area? This, then square, right? Here, guys? Okay. So before that, can you do it by yourself first to have the volume? And what do you think is the limit of this?
0
What is the limit?
0 to 4.
0 to 4.
Four.
So can you do by yourself first? This is your guide, guys. I think this is very clear now. Okay? You're gonna have to identify the side.
That's because it's revolving around the x-axis. Well, it's perpendicular to the x-axis.
Or sometimes they just draw it this way and that way. It's the same square. Okay?
If it was 9 y equals 4, then we go subtract.
So, process of elimination. Can we include A? Why? Why? What's the reason, Isabella? The limit, right? So, process of elimination, we're gonna choose letter A. What's next?
B.
Can we choose letter B?
No,
Why?
the limit.
The same thing, the limit. So, just focus first on the limit. Now, what are the candidates? The candidates for the limit is C and D, right? Okay, but what about letter? Let's start first on letter D. Between D and C, is this in this form for letter D? Plus 1? No. Plus 1? No. So we can cross this out. Even if you don't have to formulate by just looking at the graph, you can see.
He right.
Okay, that's the technique, guys. Okay, that's the technique. Because area of this is now the square of e to the power of negative x plus 1 and then square. That's the area. So therefore, this is our best choice. Do process of elimination, guys. That's the technique. Okay? No need. Yes?
I have a question about the method then.
Huh?
How do you how do you get both sides to be e to the power of negative x plus 1?
Okay, that's a very good question. But to answer that, I'm not going to say, but I just want you to look at this.
Squares, yeah.
What is a square?
So squares means every side is equal to each other.
What is the area of a square? The square of the side.
Yeah.
That's why you have this. This is the side, this is the side, so the area is the square of the side.
Okay, let's say it was a rectangle and there was another.
That's another question. That's another problem right here. And we come across with that. We come across with that. Okay? And thank you for asking questions in advance. Because we don't focus only on square. We also have to do rectangle. We have to do triangle. We have to do semicircle. Clear, guys? So these 4 figures. That is why questions 1 through 30 for this practice, everything is covered. And thank you for asking that. You're so advanced, Anthony. Okay?
I'll give you a hug and a kiss right now.
So therefore, it is necessary also, guys, it is necessary, as I said a while ago, it is necessary to draw what we are trying to do, right? If it is semicircle, so you're gonna have to do that way. That's semicircle. So, and then what's the formula for a semicircle? Pi r squared over 2. Because the entire full length of a circle is pi r squared. But since it's only a semicircle, so pi r squared over 2. Okay? Can I move this up now? Again, process of elimination is very important. Okay. Chris to the rescue.
Yeah, double meat plane is like $2.
What are you trying to order?
Okay.
You just want a cheap burger, you get a double meat plane.
So this time, I just need you to highlight first the important words or important function. So what is this? Is this a line? It's a line, right?
There's 2 lines.
4 minus 1/2 x. And then, what is this? Square root. So can you now expect, or can you now imagine yourself that the line is, what is the slope of the line? Negative. So then it will be an intersection between the line that is decreasing and a square root. Can you imagine now? We have a line and a square root. You get me? A line, negative slope, and a square root. But I did not draw it perfectly. Okay? So I need this. Okay, sorry guys. I'm just so excited to show it to you. Okay, I'll use black color for the axis. And I think I'm gonna use this one. So if you have this graph, X and Y, and it's gonna be a line, 1/2. 4 minus 1/2. So that means, what is the intercept? Intercept at 4. You get me? And then, the intercept is 4, and then you have this. So this is the line. I hope I can justify a straight line, but this is not straight, but assume that this is a straight line. Okay, assume yourself that this line is a straight one, the blue color. Next, I'll do green color for square root. Okay, so the square root is this one. So this is now y equals square root of x. And the blue color is y equals 4 minus 1/2 x. Okay? So, what is the bounded region? The bounded region of these two curves is right here. So I'm gonna have another color for the bounded region. So the bounded region is this one. Okay? Okay, that's the bounded region. But what is that? X-axis is a square. So we need to draw a square. Okay. Can I have purple color for a square? Okay. No matter what, I can have a square like this. But it's not a perfect square. Looks like, oh my God, it's not regular. Okay, it's not. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you again.
That's you.
I'm blessed.
Okay. So this square consists of how many curves? The green and the blue curves, right? But you're gonna identify which of this curve is upper and which of this curve is lower. Joseph, are you okay, mijo? Okay. So which is the upper curve? The blue or green?
The blue.
The blue is the upper and the green is the lower. So that means it is understood that the blue color is your f of x. Clear, guys? And your g of x is the green color. Remember, volume is the integral from a to b, and we don't know yet the limits, right? This one, the intersection of this green and blue color. So what to do again? What to do again? We are trying to
Equate it.
we want to know, because we all know that the lower limit is 0, but what is this intersection? So, can you do it first? Can you equate? For you to identify the upper limit.
Why can't it be this
Hmm?
Why can't it be this triangle?
People are saying that's the most part of the movie.
Like, why does it have to be this triangle, not this one?
The intersection.
The trees, bro. They be talking more. Enough. They'll be here.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
We cannot identify.
Everybody has something you work hard with that.
Okay.
Don't do it. Just go do it. And I'm real dog.
Yeah, the times are by
Okay.
5. Times are by 7.
Now, process of elimination. All choices. What are all choices with regards to the limits?
I don't think,
Are all choices the same
Yeah.
from 0 to 4? So it is understood that this is 4.
perchance.
Okay? So what's next? So process of elimination, volume. That means the integral from 0 to 4. You don't have to spend so much time equating, but look at this. Options. Look at the options, guys. Okay?
You don't even need pi there.
Yeah, you don't
No need, because it's not a revolution. It's not being revolved. Only if it is being revolved, right? You have pi because of pi r squared. That means if you revolve, that forms a circle. You me? Okay, so what is the upper? The blue. And what is blue? What is blue?
Go to Kubu.
4 minus 1/2 x. That's the blue, right? And then, what is this? Square root. So minus square root of x. And then, what's next?
Square.
You're gonna square. And what do you think is the best option? Okay? So, and then, what about this one? What about this one? So, can you now simplify? Area is square. So, I have the intention not to write everything for you to react. What do you think? Hmm? Remember, this side is 4 minus 1/2 x. Guys, I need you to think. And this is also 4 minus 1/2 x, but this is the upper yet, and then the lower limit is minus square root of x. This is square root of x, and this is square root of x. So minus square root of x. So what is the area of this? Area now is the accumulation, this one. So 4 minus 1/2 x minus square root of x, and then square, and then
Wait, am I saying already?
this area, right? The length times the width. So, what to do with this? Guys, come on, come on. Come on.
Like separated in two?
Can you simplify this now?
Yeah.
Can you simplify?
You spread it apart, right?
What you mean, man? I'm up for it.
Simplify that now. Or we simply can have it as
As is it? No?
as letter A, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Both of them are correct.
Because I don't think the bottom ones are correct. Because they have the side.
So you have,
Right? A.
because this is already in dx, so dx is the height, right? The dx is the height.
That's true.
So we can have still have one problem. We have 13 minutes left. Is it 13 minutes? Okay. Chris, can you move to number 5? I need to hear from Diego Rodriguez. Can you read the problem for me, mijo?
Yeah. The base of the solid in the first quadrant is the region bounded by the graph of the parabola y equals 9 minus x squared and the coordinate axis. If all plane cross sections perpendicular to the y-axis are squares, then the volume of the solid is given by.
Okay. So where is the perpendicular axis? X or Y? It's gonna be perpendicular to y-axis. And the given parabola is 9 minus x squared. Okay. So we only concern on the first quadrant. Our concern is first quadrant only. So if we have this graph, this is 9, right? 9. And then the parabola goes this way. Get me? Let's sketch. Concavity. Adi, you could do. The concavity is down. Get me, guys? Hello? The concavity is down because it's negative x squared. So 9 minus x squared. So this means 9 is the y-intercept, the starting point. Okay, so implies now that the axis of revolution is along the y. And it is a square, okay? It is a square along the y. Okay, guys? Hello? Okay? So, implies now that the volume that we're gonna have, since we want to know this one, what to do with y is equal to 9 minus x squared. What to do with that 9? Because this axis of revolution is y-axis, so we're gonna have to change it into, okay? So we're gonna have to move 9 to the other side. Clear, guys? So can you do it now?
Yeah? Yeah. That's what
So we have y minus 9, right? Is equal to negative x squared. And then what to do? Divide both sides by negative. You get me, guys? If we divide both sides by negative, this y becomes negative. And this negative 9 becomes positive. And you have that x squared. Or can we switch writing negative y plus 9 into 9 plus 9 minus y? Okay. So 9 minus y is equal to x squared. And what we do now? We square root both sides. Here. We square root both sides, therefore it's gonna be square root of 9 minus y is equal to x. Okay, since the axis of revolution, it's gonna be perpendicular to the y-axis. So this means if we have a square, look at this one, guys. Now, if we have a square, if this is a square, okay. That means the side of a square now is this one. So this is square root of 9 minus y, and this is also square root of 9 minus y. Is this presentation clear? If it is a square. Now,
So you said no?
Yeah, because it cancels each other out.
okay, that's good. You guys okay?
No.
Can you now take the limits from here? So what to do? The limit is from 0 to
9.
0 to 3. Why? Why 0 to 3? We can have, take this one. So we have 9 minus x squared is equal to 0. Equate that into 0. The y, right? So which means negative, or I'll just say 9. And then add both sides by negative x squared. And this becomes now positive x squared. And then take the square root. So it's gonna be, since we only have to do this one, so we don't have to say plus and minus. We only consider the positive value of x. So square root of 9. So what is that? 3. So as I said, we consider plus and minus, but what is important is the positive value. We don't consider the negative value because our concern is first quadrant. So starts from 0 to 3. This is our limit. So test taking strategy. Can we cross this out? Can we cross this out?
Yes.
Why? What's the reason?
And
The limit is from 0 to 9, so this is not part of the option.
We
What
have
are these
violence
candidates? Yes.
Since it's from perpendicular to the y-axis, doesn't it have to be switch it like radical 9 minus y equal to 0?
That's the reason. I want you to take a violet reaction.
So we were right.
Nobody reacted.
Me and Anthony reacted.
Good job, Anthony.
I reacted to
Actually, I tricked you.
Yeah, I caught that.
It's gonna be from
yeah.
0 to 9.
0 to 9.
Okay?
Yeah, because it's not.
That's a
Mike,
good
did you catch
question.
that? 0 to 9.
So process of elimination, we don't.
So it's fine.
So, pregunta, is this important? No. This is only for x-axis.
It's just if we were listening, huh? It's just if we were listening.
And I like that. Okay, you're listening. So what are the possible candidates?
C and D.
Okay, so
C.
what do you think is our best answer?
C.
It's letter C.
It's
Why?
letter C.
Because the radical in 9 minus y eliminates the square.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a good boy.
You're what?
Because what's the area of this now?
He could be a good boy.
It eliminates the square. Okay. So it's letter C. Very good. Okay. So we will continue our discussions tomorrow. How much time is left?
Like
4
6,
minutes.
5 minutes, 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay. So we're gonna continue the discussions tomorrow, guys.
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
we take this UCLA?
You want?
So much help.
Or are you getting this UCLA?
Just the pocket that I'm gonna discuss. Mike, can you turn off